Perfect and mediocre. Interesting title. Not only because you clicked it, but also because these two words are never used to describe the same thing. Using the iPhone 12, I realized you can use both of these words to describe the same thing. And to understand this, all you need is a little bit of context, which I'll give you in the next few minutes. But before that, just let me string up some shots of the iPhone 12 tuned to some great rock music. Ladies, gentlemen, or whichever way you identify yourself as, here's the iPhone 12. Perfect and mediocre were the only two words that repeatedly came up in my mind as I was using the phone. Here's how. The phone is a slab of metal and glass. Very basic, very mediocre. Something you find on most phones. Glass sandwiching a metal chassis. But the size of the phone is perfect. The display is not small, but small enough to fit well into your hand. Not big, but big enough to not fall short on screen realistic. The weight of the phone is absolutely perfect. The metal chassis is not made of stainless steel, but mediocre aluminum. But since aluminum is lighter, the phone is light. And the straight edges, while basic, give you something solid to hold on to, making the phone feel weightless when in your hands. So while all other flagships are providing something epic, something amazing in their designs, what this phone provides is something very basic, something very mediocre. But at the same time, it's perfect. It's perfectly weighted, it's perfectly sized, and it perfectly fits in your hand. Mediocre, perfect. The display of the phone is not curved, does not have a crazy resolution, does not fold, does not have a punch hole camera. It's flat with a huge notch at the top. The resolution is a little over 1080p, but the dynamic range of the display is amazing. The lightest and the darkest parts of anything on the screen are very well differentiated, and yet there is no loss of detail or information in either. The display remains sharp and bright enough to be able to show the sharpness in the outside sun due to the high peak brightness of the display. And the display also has a very mediocre 60Hz refresh rate. But the iOS animations and the high touch sampling rate of the display make it more responsive and smooth. And despite everything, the colors of the display are rich, natural, and are not oversaturated. And the OLED screen is safe from any kind of tinting or quality control issues. So despite the lack of crazy features or the expectations set by the competition, the iPhone 12's display is very basic, very mediocre. The choices made are very safe. But what we actually do get with the display is a quality panel which gets very bright and is perfectly reliable. Underneath the display, we get a processor called the A14 Bionic. As has been the case for all the iPhones before the iPhone 12, iPhones usually tend to be leading the performance charts most of the time. The same is the case with the iPhone 12. But the minor jumps in speed every year do not mean much. And the gaps of performance between different iPhones isn't that wide anymore. The gap isn't wide even with the competition. But what is different is how long the processor would perform well. You can easily use an iPhone for 3 years without feeling much of a gap in performance, as it slows down only marginally. By the 4th or 5th year, yes, the age does begin to show, but that's still much better than how the other competitive flagships perform after 3 to 4 years of use, albeit with a RAM of 4 GB. But all of this works well only because the iPhone's hardware and software are very well integrated. The 4 GB of RAM is way less on paper when you compare it to what we usually get with Android flagships, which is usually around 8 or 12 GB. But the software makes the difference exist only on paper. In actuality, the apps open fast. Most of them remain open till you use them and beyond. The apps also work and perform much better on iOS, especially the apps which are camera based like Instagram here or Snapchat. And the phone lasts 5 years because the software updates also are available for 5 years for each and every generation of an iPhone. Yes, at least 5 years of software updates for every generation of the iPhone, arriving to all the supported iPhones at the same time. But the software, while perfect in performance, is too restrictive. There is absolutely no efficient way to multitask, and the notification management and the old lock screen all are in the need of an overdue overhaul. Hence, the software is flawed, it is very restrictive, it does not give you the great features that Android flagships do, but like the performance, it stays reliable, it stays secure for half a decade. Why? But at the same time, it is reliable, like the performance. It is secure, and it stays reliable and secure for half a decade, unlike the Android flagships. Flipping to the glossy back, we find the camera surrounded by the matte camera bump. Now, this flagship does not get the crazy periscope lenses, 108 megapixel sensors, or a macro lens, or even a telephoto lens. It has just two lenses, the standard wide and the ultra wide. But much like the trend of this video, what this camera offers is reliability. The photos are perfectly sharp, not over sharpened, not soft either, just natural. Exact same thing can be said for the colors. Perfectly natural, yet dynamic, but not oversaturated. The dynamic range is really impressive. The ultra wide tries to retain most of the dynamic range and the sharpness in the colors while giving you a much wider field of view. Although it does lose out a little on all of those three, the shots are impressive, especially when there is plenty of light. And the lens distortion does need better software correction. The performance of the front camera is also great, and the dynamic range is mostly based on the subject. So while the faces are decently exposed, the information in other areas will be lost. And there is no pro mode in the default camera app for anyone who wants to be more experimentative or more independent in what they click from this camera. It is just based on taking the phone up, opening the camera app, clicking the white button and taking the picture. There is a night mode though, to help the low light shots without making them seem like the shots were clicked during a different time of the day, making everything look natural, and it's available on all cameras including the front camera.
The video recording capabilities of the iPhone 12 are absolutely amazing. The dynamic range is great. The video stabilization is great. The image quality is great. Overall, I don't think there is any other phone in this budget or beyond that I can suggest that is better than the iPhone 12, except maybe the iPhone 12 Pro Max because of the added video stabilization features on that phone. But apart from that, stabilization, the image quality, the dynamic range, everything is as good as it gets on a phone with the iPhone 12.
And yes, it is just 4K. 4K up to 60 FPS or up to 30 FPS if you want the HDR 10-bit footage, which is also another fucking amazing thing about this camera, that it can do that. But it's not the 8K of, what the other Android flagships offer. But at the same time, it's much more usable than the 8K. Hence, the camera doesn't give you the bells and whistles, the crazy lenses, but what we do get is the tried and tested mediocre, which is again perfectly reliable. And all of this is powered by a perfectly reliable battery. How many times have I used that? I'm tired of saying perfectly reliable. Perfectly reliable, perfectly reliable, perfectly reliable, perfectly reliable. Yeah, it's 2 a.m. I haven't slept more than 4 or 5 hours in the past few days. Yeah, if you can see everything unraveling in my mind, it is. And all of this is powered by a perfectly reliable battery. It performed way better than I was expecting it to. Simply put, this battery will consistently and comfortably last you through the entire day. I would start the day with the phone at 10 a.m. and I would need to charge it again by 2 a.m. That's an easy 16 hours. And that involves everything from clicking pictures to using the phone over LTE, making calls, using social media, replying to emails, everything. And yet we do not get any kind of fast charging out of the box. We don't get any charging out of the box. There is no charger in the box. You will have to buy a 20-watt fast charger from Apple in order to get a fair bit of fast charging. Not the crazy 70% in 15 minutes, but like 100% in 1 hour 15 minutes. But still, this phone does 16 hours every day with a fairly small battery. Perfectly reliable. So we started with two unrelated words, perfect and mediocre. Well, I kept on adding reliable, perfectly reliable. What the iPhone 12 gives you on paper is fairly mediocre. It's just safe and expected choices with a few upgrades here and there. On paper, you see all the other smartphones giving you much more for a lesser price. That's going by all the phones that have already launched in 2021 and all the phones that will further launch in 2021. But when you observe each and every aspect of this phone individually, you see that there is a certain degree of reliability in everything. And when you put all of those aspects together, you get a phone which is perfect. Perfect in its performance, its reliability, its consistency. A phone that you can always choose and never really regret making that choice. So the iPhone 12 in the end is perfect and reliable. Get it. That covers it. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you loved it and want to watch more of such content every Saturday. Share this video with the people you think it will help. It helps them, it helps me. You'll be the awesome person helping everyone. Comment any questions you might have which this video did not answer. I would love to reply to each and everything. And I'll talk to you real soon in the next one.